In 2006, when Kelly Kelly first made her appearance as an exhibitionist, most didn't expect that she would become the face of the Divas division. After leaving the company in 2012, she has made several in-ring returns, including 3 Royal Rumble appearances. Many fans think that she looks as good as she did when she was 19, if not better. Eva Marie has faced quite a lot of criticism, not only when she was just starting out, but also during her second run in the WWE. After her first initial release, she was mainly occupied with taking on smaller roles in movies such as Inconceivable, starring Nicolas Cage, and Hard Kill, starring Bruce Willis. Now, after being released due to mass layoffs in the company, she seems to be focusing a lot on social media, mainly being a YouTuber. On her channel, Eva Marie posts vlogs, videos of her reacting to her WWE moments, and other content like her doing a parody of Vogue's 73-question interview.
Can you share any behind-the-scenes insights into the wrestling industry that fans might find interesting?
That it's a lot more chaotic than you would even imagine.
When Tyler Reks first debuted on ECW in 2009, there seemed to be a lot of potential, and while the superstar did have some angles such as a tag team storyline with Kurt Hawkins, Reks' career didn't last very long, and the superstar left the company in 2012. Almost a decade later, the ex-WWE star came out as a transgender woman and is known as Gabby Tuft on TikTok. Gabby, along with being a social media influencer, is also a personalized fitness coach.
I really feel like presenting male was the show, and I wasn't living my reality, and it just slowly became harder and harder and harder.
Maryse first appeared in the 2006 Diva Search. Despite being eliminated, she signed a contract with WWE and went on to achieve great things in the company, like being the second ever and the longest reigning Divas champion, a record later beaten by AJ Lee. In 2016, Maryse first returned only to manage her husband, but it wasn't long until the wrestler went back to her roots. The arrival of Trish Stratus in WWE was quite interesting to observe. She clearly was meant to be an eye candy at first, only serving as a manager during her first few appearances. Despite this, Stratus has been hailed as a definition of a female wrestler in WWE, which is why not only did she have minor cameos throughout the year, but also had long-lasting feuds with modern-day superstars.
First woman to make you people give a crap about the women's division.
Becky Lynch probably had one of the most intense wrestling glow-ups. Lynch, dressed all in green, debuted on a 2014 NXT as a character who insisted on doing an Irish jig during her entrance. It was a fun persona, but a gimmick like that can only take you so far. Despite all of the doubts, exactly a decade later, Lynch is now considered one of the top female talents in WWE and a pioneer of women's wrestling. What was your reaction when you first saw her? Did you think she was going to make it to the big league? Comment below.
I would put that over Shockmaster in terms of shameful debuts.
Now, it would be pretty unfair to say that we didn't think Charlotte would go on to do great things in the company when she first debuted, since she was advertised as Ric Flair's daughter from the beginning. Charlotte won the NXT Women's title pretty early in her career and made her one-time main roster debut against Natalya in 2014. Throughout the past decade, Flair has proven that she deserved her success, as she was the holder of various women's titles and has had some of the most memorable feuds in WWE history.
Debuting around the same time as Maryse, fellow Canadian Natalya Neidhart arrived on the scene in 2008. She was no beginner though. Strictly raised in the Heart Dungeon, Natty dominated the opposition with ease. Now, around 15 years later, Natalya is still an integral part of the women's roster, as she has won multiple titles during her career and cemented herself as a legend.
Yeah, baby.
Torrie Wilson actually made her debut in WCW when she was in her early 20s. Wilson moved to LA to pursue acting, but ended up in the wrestling industry instead. While she has not won any titles, her high status in the history of female wrestlers is truly undeniable. Do you think that Torrie should have been a champion? Comment below.
I can't believe it's been over 3 years for me and I am so excited.
Vladimir Kozlov was already a force to be reckoned with when he first debuted. The wrestler managed to secure matches with superstars such as The Undertaker and Triple H during very early stages of his career. Ever since being released in 2011, Kozlov has starred in movies and TV shows such as The Punisher and John Wick 2, where he went face-to-face with Keanu Reeves' character.
Some may think that Naomi debuted in 2012 alongside Cameron as a dancer for Brodus Clay, but that's not the case at all. In fact, the athletically gifted wrestler first appeared as Kelly's Rookie Diva on the 2010 version of NXT. She even won her first televised match, but it also unfortunately ended with an awkward botch. Almost 15 years later, after Naomi went through all sorts of gimmicks, one that stuck through was her Feel the Glow shtick. And while she got the shorter end of the stick many times throughout her career, she still managed to cement her legacy in the industry.
But this is the only beginning. I still got a long way to go, so just hope I keep going up.
The now 27-year-old wrestler, often referred to as Mommy, first made her debut at the 2017 Mae Young Classic, and during that time, her style was far from what it is today. It was actually a year later, during the second Mae Young Classic, that the superstar appeared with a darker aesthetic. Around 7 years later, Rhea Ripley has become one of the most popular female superstars in WWE, and it was during her run as a SmackDown Women's Champion that the title was changed to Women's World Championship with an updated design.
Imagine going from a science teacher to a professional wrestler. Well, that's exactly what Michelle McCool did. After entering the 2004 Diva Search, McCool's career flourished, as she has managed to become the first one to win both women's and Divas titles. Her Royal Rumble appearances proved that she has still got it and could come back for a full-time career if she wanted to.
Well, I gotta say, I'm surprised to see you around here.
This one is also a case where a wrestler already started off strong during their debut. Nia Jax was heavily advertised as a powerful force to be reckoned with even before she competed in her first match. When she started to actually compete, she completely annihilated the competition. Jax also spent some time as Eva Marie's bodyguard during her time at NXT. Nia had a great run in the WWE, and even came back after she split with the company for a while. It's also worthy to note that Nia Jax holds the title to the 2024 Queen of the Ring.
We've been waiting for this for a long time. Our first look.
Looking back at a young version of one of the most iconic female athletes in the wrestling industry, Sasha Banks. Did you know that you may have witnessed a legend on the rise on your television screen without even knowing it? Yeah, that's right. You can actually spot a 19-year-old Sasha in the audience on a 2010 episode of Raw. We saw Banks cheering for superstars such as Melina and Michelle McCool that night, both of which she stepped into a ring with in recent years.
Or are you just jealous that my spotlight is bigger than the both of you combined?
Now, as we all know, the daughter of Ric Flair is now the most decorated woman in WWE, a title that was given to her by, well, herself.
But I mean, as the most decorated woman in sports entertainment, I am the most decorated woman in sports entertainment history. The most decorated woman. The most decorated woman.
Before she made her official debut at NXT, we saw Charlotte multiple times in the audience for Ric Flair's most memorable matches. And if that wasn't enough, even before that, she made many WCW appearances as a teenager.
She is Charlotte Flair!
We know Maryse as a two-time Divas champion and wife of the legendary superstar The Miz, but before any of that, the French-Canadian wrestler made an appearance on a 2005 episode of Raw. During John Cena's entrance, the camera pans to a young audience member enjoying the show. Little did they know that she would become the greatest quote-unquote air-flying diva in WWE history. Truly iconic.
I want to be the next air-flying diva!
On the other side of Maryse on the top rope. Hurricane Rana!
This superstar right here basically had no gimmick when she first debuted in 2015, except for the fact that she was from New Jersey. Peak the huge writing on her shirt saying, Jersey. Her first match, which she lost, was against the notorious Eva Marie. Morgan was part of the Riot Squad during the time of her debut, and after going solo, had great achievements, such as being the Women's World Champion and winning the Money in the Bank.
And that was our list. Which one was your favorite entry? Comment below.